importance of communication with school children cannot be underestimated. But it is easy to say that, much more difficult to work out how that is to be done. You may recall that many years ago, the government ran a television advertisement in which some poor wretch, I think it was a boy, appeared looking as if he'd just been dragged out of a grave, looking on his last legs. The purpose of that, laudably, was to alarm the young into realizing that they might end up like that if they went down the slippery road of taking controlled drugs. Unfortunately, it apparently had the opposite effect, and the young began to associate with this poor individual, who became a sort of almost a hero or cult figure in their minds, so they had to stop that program. So one has to be extremely careful how you go about it. I would have thought that teachers are much better qualified than I am, and indeed the police much better qualified than I am, to come up with suggestions of how this could be done. I suspect that the one person that children might well listen to would be reformed drug addicts who could go to school and say, look, I've been through this hell. I lost my job. I had a ghastly time. My marriage broke up. I went to prison. Eventually, I managed to kick the habit, but for God's sake, don't do what I did. I think that's much more impressive than teachers and police officers saying it's a very bad thing to do and you'll go to prison if you do it. Why, it is a very difficult area indeed, because as you rightly say, if their peers are consuming drugs and they don't appear to be strange to them and appear still perfectly normal, they might well get the impression, well, to hell with what authority says, we think it's perfectly all right. I think what has to be emphasized is that although people may be all right, certainly in the initial stages, there is a very serious danger of drug addiction. And that is a slippery road to hell. And I think they can be given the truth in terms of the sort of figures that are available in relation to the percentage of people, for instance, who do take particularly Class A drugs, who turn out to be drug addicts. That is, of course, the real danger that they face. But I think it's very important not to mislead them at all, and to provide them with truthful figures and truthful facts. Obviously, no one should be saying, you take one drug and immediately you will become a drug addict. That isn't the case. But what should be emphasized is that if you start taking drugs, there is a really serious risk that you'll end up as an addict, you will become unemployable, you won't be able to hold down a relationship, your life will be ruined, and you could end up spending a lot of time behind bars.